Today, you and I, we're going to have this discussion. Can anyone be an investor in multiple properties with little or no income? Today, we're going to dispel that. We're going to look deep dive into this topic because I'm sure you've seen before certain advertisements by a certain group that advertises on this concept, and let's deep dive on it with the first part, investor. Let's pull up the definition of an investor if you don't already know. An investor is someone that allocates capital, which is money, for a future potential gain. And when you look at it carefully, investor with little or no money, that in itself is already a misleading statement. That in itself is already an incorrect statement because the investor needs to allocate capital. And if you're in your 20s or just started a career, I strongly suggest you forget this concept. Focus on building your skills, focus on building your income. Once you reach your first $10,000 saved up as capital, your first $100,000, then you can really transit to become an investor. Look to get returns on your capital because that is the right phase of things. This part is to seduce you wrongly, gets you distracted from your real financial steps to get to where you need to get to eventually. And next part about this is multiple properties. When it comes to multiple properties, you have this dream. When we mention about this topic, multiple properties, it feels like you have multiple homes. It feels like you have one home at the beach, one home for vacation, one home for leisure, etc., where you can invite your friends over. It feels so cool, feels so nice. But the truth is this: if you buy multiple residential properties right now, you're gonna get killed by ABSD, additional buyer stamp duty. If you buy a 500,000 residential property, it's gonna cost you $60,000 in taxes for ABSD. If you buy $1 million property, it's gonna cost you $120,000 in terms of taxes for ABSD. How can anyone buy multiple properties with such a huge outlay in terms of taxes itself? So that boils down the topic to this. If you're buying commercial properties, you avoid ABSD. What are commercial properties? Commercial properties are like offices, are like industrial parks, old warehouses. These are commercial properties. And if you think about it, owning multiple commercial properties suddenly doesn't feel so sexy. You can't really bring your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or even your kids there to have a good time, touch and feel the property, see the scenery. It's going to be for business, and it's not just going to be so exciting as what you imagine it to be. And the main thing is this: if you buy into industrial properties, I've done some research for you already. You need to take note of a few things. There is seller stamp duty. There's also GST that you need to tackle. So there's a lot more that you need to consider. And there's this article by 99.co that mentions that when you have tenants, there are commercial tenants. They are often businesses. And a lot of times they require a lot more hands-on than residential tenants because simply a business needs things to be fixed quickly. If not, it's going to cost them days of operation work and it's just going to cost them a lot of money. They're going to lose money, which means they're going to pressurize you as the owner to make a lot of up-to-date adjustments, and it's just going to be a lot more hands-on. Forget about the idea of you being passive, sitting there idling and waiting for passive income coming in as rental. There's going to be a lot more hands-on than what it seems to be. And let's move on to the third point of little or no money. Think about this. Why is this inside that phrase? Anyone can be an investor in multiple properties with little or no money. Leave them in the comment section below because this hook is very problematic. You need to understand why is it there in the first place. If that message was own multiple properties with $3 million, would you even bother to click on that? Because that simply does not relate to you that much. But little or no money gives you that fantasy that it can be done by anyone. And it's very misleading because if you relate back to the first point, investor requires capital. Investor needs to be able to have that patience, put that capital for a long-term potential gain. And you can think about it differently. Or maybe I can source for other people's money. But then when you do so, that is not your money. That is someone else's. And that person is the investor. You become the business owner running this business to source for rental income. And when you run any business, there's always going to be a business risk. So think about it in that way. And to dispel it fully, banks will not actually lend you fully such that you don't need to cough out any capital. When it comes to commercial property, the loan to valuation, LTV, is usually around 80%. And with that, what does it mean? It means a $500,000 industrial property will cost you $100,000 in initial outlay. A $1 million commercial property will cost you $200,000 in initial outlay. There's capital needed. There's no such thing as little or no money. That's ridiculous. That's misleading. And the thing is this: not only that, for the remaining that you loan, this $800,000, this $400,000 that you eventually take a loan, you need to fulfill it with income. If not, the bank wouldn't lend it to you. There's something called TDSR, total debt servicing ratio. And you need to have income and capital before you can be an investor, a real investor into a industrial or commercial property itself. And if you are new, I strongly suggest you watch this video, how you can invest with $1,000 only. That's definitely good, much better, much safer, much more broad approach to how you can actually get started as an investor. In that video, I also touch on topics such as REITs, whereby you really invest in industrial properties through a right source, through a right financial method, which is into REITs. REITs are listed in the exchange, which means you can sell out anytime, and there's a professional manager looking and taking care of tenants. That, in that case, it really becomes passive because you are an investor collecting quarterly passive dividend incomes. And with that, I also strongly suggest you to consider this. When it comes to starting out as an investor, you need to have the right approach. You need to use the right tools. And falling for these misleading statements might actually put you in the wrong direction. You're going to waste more time in building your own finances. You're going to go in the wrong direction for a financial journey. If this message helps you, if this message is something that you want to share with more people, smash on the like button below so that more can actually see this. And if you like, smash on the subscribe button below because we'll be launching videos every week, and join our community to become more financially savvy. With that, I'll sign off. Take care and goodbye.